Why do we see brilliant, dynamic young women consistently bypassing energetic, physically peak men of their own generation to choose partners with silver hair and weathered faces? Society screams that it is about money or social status, but evolutionary psychology and deep human behavior tell a vastly different, almost uncomfortable truth. By the end of this journey, you will understand the precise psychological shift, one that has nothing to do with age or wealth, that instantly commands respect and deep emotional safety. In fact, a crucial revelation later on reveals in intimate detail about physical presence that most men in their 20s and 30s fail to notice until it is far too late. Picture a crowded room. A young man, physically flawless, stands in the corner, radiating nervous energy. He checks his phone every 30 seconds, adjusting his posture, trying to capture the room's attention. Across the space sits a man 20 years his senior, with quiet posture and silver at his temples. He is not loud, he does not perform, yet the room seems to bend around his presence. Why do independent, intelligent women consistently gravitate toward the latter? The lazy answer is money. The superficial answer is status. But those answers are a shield used by those who refuse to look deeper. The reality is far more complex, rooted in the ancient architecture of the human mind and a biological yearning for emotional security and maturity that modern society has largely forgotten. By looking through the lens of Stoic philosophy and modern behavioral science, we can uncover what is truly happening beneath the surface. Let us first examine how we handle the word no. It is a simple, two-letter word, yet it has the power to dismantle an immature man's entire sense of self-worth. Imagine a long, grueling day. A woman returns home, emotionally drained, carrying the weight of a professional world that demands too much of her. She collapses onto the sofa, completely spent. When she expresses that she simply needs quiet space and has nothing left to give that evening, what happens inside her partner? Research suggests that the younger male mind, often operating from an unrecognized place of scarcity and validation seeking, frequently hears this withdrawal not as a statement of her physical fatigue, but as a direct personal rejection. Am I not enough? Is she losing interest? This internal anxiety almost always manifests as external pressure. It becomes a subtle guilt trip, an unspoken contract of transaction. I bought dinner, I planned the evening, so you owe me your attention. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher who began his life in chains, understood this dynamic of control and reaction perfectly. He observed that it is not external events that upset us, but our judgment about those events. A mature man looks at her exhaustion and sees a human being in need of rest, not a threat to his masculine ego. He does not panic, he does not demand, and he does not manipulate. He simply accepts and understands. This quiet composure creates an immediate, rare sense of emotional safety. Have you ever caught yourself trying to negotiate emotional connection, hoping that if you tried hard enough, you could convince or pressure someone to feel what you wanted them to feel? This brings us to a fundamental shift in how we view the concept of care. In our modern landscape, human connection has become hypertransactional. We trade attention like currency, measuring appreciation in rapid text replies and immediate gratification. For many younger men, care is highly conditional. It is active and abundant when things are smooth, when she is pleasant, cheerful, and validating his ego. But the moment the storm hits, when she is anxious, overwhelmed, or visibly struggling with her own demons, that care often vanishes, replaced by frustration or a cold, defensive withdrawal. An older man, weathered by the inevitable storms of life, has usually learned that genuine care is not a reward to be distributed for good behavior. It is a foundation. He does not offer comfort to receive something in return. He offers it because he has cultivated an internal standard of nobility and character. He understands that a partner, no matter how strong or independent she appears to the world, sometimes needs a space where she can simply lay down her armor and be vulnerable without judgment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that our lives are dyed by the color of our thoughts. When a man's mind is colored by the genuine desire to protect and support rather than possess and control, his actions reflect a calm, undeniable strength. He listens to understand, not to fix or debate. He remembers the small details. He makes her feel seen and cherished, not because she is performing for him, but because he has the emotional capacity to hold space for her reality. If you have traveled with me this far, you are ready for the part of this reality that almost no one has the courage to speak of openly. This is the absolute dividing line. This is where we move from theory into the physical, tangible world. It is the art of physical presence and deliberate pacing. In an era dominated by instant gratification, fast-paced media, and constant stimulation, the act of physical connection has become rushed and performance-driven. The immature mind treats intimacy like a race with a definitive finish line, focusing entirely on the destination and his own validation. But the mature mind understands that true intimacy is an act of absolute presence. Seneca warned us that we ruin our lives by anxious dependence on the future, failing to inhabit the present moment. A mature man does not rush. He listens to the subtle language of the body, the slight shift in breathing, the tension in a shoulder, the unspoken pauses. He takes his time because he is not trying to prove his capability or feed his ego. He is sharing a moment of deep, grounded reality. He prepares the environment. He prioritizes her comfort, and he waits until she is fully present and engaged. This level of care and patience transforms physical connection from a superficial act into a profound, unforgettable experience. It is the feeling of being valued as an equal partner rather than a means to an end. Now consider the nature of energy itself. There is an energy that pushes and an energy that pulls. Much of modern youth culture is defined by a frantic, striving energy. It is the need to show off, to perform, to talk over others, to constantly assert one's status. It is exhausting to watch, and it is even more exhausting to be near. When a woman is pursued by this frantic energy, she constantly feels on guard, as if she is a trophy to be won rather than a human being to be known. Contrast this with the stillness of a man who has lived through his own failures and survived them. He has built, he has lost, he has grieved, and he has rebuilt. He has nothing left to prove to a stranger in a room. This quiet confidence acts as a psychological gravity. It is the realization of Marcus Aurelius's famous truth that our power lies within our own minds, not in external events. When you truly realize this, you stop performing. You stop seeking constant applause. You simply exist fully and deeply in the space you occupy. This grounded stillness is incredibly attractive to those who are weary of the chaotic, validation-seeking behavior that dominates modern life. It feels like a sanctuary. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you sat in complete silence with someone you cared about, without checking your phone, without trying to fill the quiet, just letting the moment exist? Here is the great secret that society keeps hidden behind advertisements for luxury cars and expensive anti-aging creams. You do not need to wait until your hair turns gray to embody this magnetic presence. The qualities that make an older man compelling are not physical. They are psychological, emotional, and philosophical. They are the direct result of emotional maturity, self-regulation, and stoic clarity. You can choose, at this very moment, to lay down the frantic need for external validation. You can choose to stop viewing your relationships as a series of negotiations and start viewing them as opportunities to offer genuine stability and strength. When you cultivate patience over pressure, when you offer presence instead of performance, and when you replace transactional demands with unconditional self-respect, the superficial markers of age begin to fade into irrelevance. You become a rare anchor in a chaotic world, regardless of the year on your birth certificate. The path of self-mastery is not a sudden transformation. As Epictetus reminded us, no great thing is created suddenly. A tree does not bear fruit overnight, and a man does not build an unshakable character in a single afternoon. It is a slow, deliberate accumulation of daily choices. It is choosing to listen when your ego wants to interrupt. It is choosing to stay calm when you feel the urge to react. It is choosing to offer strength and safety without demanding a receipt. Thank you for walking this path of reflection with me today. If these words brought you a sense of clarity, consider subscribing to our journey, sharing this with someone who is currently searching for their own anchor, and leaving your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know, do you believe modern relationships have become too transactional, or is there still room for this ancient, patient way of being? Until next time, stay grounded, stay patient, and continue building the strength within.